Yes, people, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are all doing well. So in this video, we're going to have a little mid-season report review. We're going to talk about how Erik ten Hag and Manchester United have been getting on and what the targets for the end of the season should be. So we'll be getting stuck into our goalkeeping and defensive positions, our midfield, our forwards, the team as a unit off the pitch, and of course our aims at the end of the video. Make sure you're getting your thoughts in the comments below by hitting down there in that comments box, and of course make sure you're hitting that subscribe button as well. Like the video while you're at it. We want to hit 150,000 subs ASAP, so make sure you get hitting that subscribe button if you haven't done it already. Wow, how have Manchester United been getting on? We've been doing all right, haven't we? I know we've got that disappointment of the Arsenal defeat fresh in our systems, but of course we managed to turn the next game around and beat Nottingham Forest to almost put our feet in the next round at Wembley. It's a huge opportunity for Manchester United to get a trophy under Erik ten Hag and obviously bring home the League Cup. We haven't won a trophy for a long time since that day in Stockholm under Jose Mourinho, and it's been far too long for Manchester United to go without a trophy. Now, when Erik ten Hag arrived at the club, many people were expecting United to finish outside the top four. I remember some people predicting things like 8th, 9th and all those kind of nonsense things, predicting Manchester United to win a trophy. So when you look at where we are now, you know, we're doing a lot better than people expected Manchester United to be doing, and things have settled down much quicker as well. But there's still plenty of work for Erik ten Hag and for Manchester United to do. And plus, we have the ownership thing up in the air at the moment as well, don't we? We don't know who are going to be Manchester United's owners in the summer and for next season. Although, without the Glazers, hopefully it will be a positive summer for Manchester United next summer. Well then, the defence. Let's look at that defence. At the start of the season, it was shocking. It was abysmal, wasn't it? You know, we were relying on some of the same guys that we were relying on last season. It was disjointed. We were making mistakes. De Gea was flapping at things at the back. And Manchester United were conceding goals, summed up with that performance at Brentford. But since then, we look a lot tighter at the back. We look a little bit more comfortable in playing the ball out of the back. And we've even seen, at times, David De Gea playing the ball out from the back as well. Although recently, there have been a few question marks over David De Gea. And look at that instance where he punches the ball instead of catching it against Arsenal, putting us under pressure immediately. The first goal for Arsenal were putting Wan-Bissaka under pressure. There's a few instances where his old habits have died hard. But we have seen a little bit of an improvement in David De Gea. And he's still himself in terms of shot stopping. In terms of that defence in front of him, the introduction of the partnership of Varane and Martinez, which took a while to get going because of various reasons, looks absolutely fantastic. And you've got Lindelof chipping in. Maguire is now fifth choice centre-back, which after last season and his abysmal performances when he was first choice is a far cry from then. So much so it looks like the club captain could be on his way out of Manchester United in the summer. But the defence has improved massively. You know, even Luke Shaw playing there. And when Luke Shaw's playing at left back, he looks really good as well. He's playing in some top form. Malacia has come in and provided great competition. And at right back, Diogo Dalot shown massive improvements. And with his injury coming up recently, and Wan-Bissaka has stepped in. And although he's made a few mistakes, he has looked good in most of the games he's played in. So he's got everyone as individuals playing well. And he's got the unit defending well as well. The only question marks we probably have over that is, have we got enough depth at right back? Is Aaron Wan-Bissaka going to be that backup, or are we going to get someone else in there? And obviously the centre-backs areas. If Maguire leaves, do we bring somebody else in? What's the long-term future of Lindelof saying? Varane obviously isn't going to be able to play every single game for the next couple of years, so we need to consider who's his alternative as well. You know, with investment, we still need to improve, and the same can be said for most of the squad as well. We need to get that bench looking a lot better. But as a whole, the defence is a much better unit, and it's much better to watch Manchester United play out from the back with that defence. And in front of them, they're being protected by a much better midfield as well. Casemiro, Eriksen, Bruno is the usual midfield three. Now we've got issues with depth. As we've seen when Casemiro was out and suspended, we needed to rely upon the McTominay and the Freds again, and we can't rely upon them. That's the simple fact of it. They're not good enough for Manchester United. McTominay is being linked with a move away from the club in the summer, and that will probably happen. And again, this is what Erik ten Hag's doing. Players that are on the fringes and that are squad players at Manchester United are looking for the way out because he's improving the squad. He's going to be bringing in players that improve that bench and which makes these players almost redundant. You know, Harry Maguire came in and he was dealing with the issue of the captaincy and stuff, and he said, Harry Maguire's still my captain. And a lot of people were worried by that. But it's not allowed him to affect his decisions and his selection for the team. You look at the way he dealt with the Cristiano Ronaldo thing, Marcus Rashford being late and getting dealt with, Garnacho on pre-season. Everyone's been handled the same. There's no favourites in the team. Everyone has to fight for their spot. If you're late or you make a mistake, you're held accountable for it. But he doesn't hold grudges as well. And that's exactly what you want to see from a manager. As I said, though, the midfield in front of him, that unit of Casemiro, Eriksen, Bruno is very good. Eriksen, can we play him every single week? Remains to be seen. And we need to get some depth in there. I know Donny van der Beek didn't perform particularly well for Manchester United, but he was beginning to start playing games regularly, and I was interested to see what Ten Hag was going to do with him and how good he could get him playing. But unfortunately, he picked up that injury. We've got depth issues in there. We've even seen the likes of Kobe Mainoo used, who I think is a fantastic talent, but maybe a little bit too early on in his progression, although who knows what he can do because he's very, very good. But we need to bring in some more players in that midfield area. The likes of Frankie de Jong were linked with the club, and I wouldn't be surprised if Erik ten Hag was looking back in the market for those kind of players again in the summer. And hopefully the funds are available with the new owners as well. But that midfield area, when you look at the way we pass the ball, we play the ball, we provide for the attackers. Christian Eriksen getting loads of assists. I think only Kevin De Bruyne's got more than him this season. And you look at the way we're protecting that back four as well. Casemiro, such a good signing. Can't believe there were question marks over him. And not only is he doing his defensive duties really well, but he's much better on the ball than I imagined as well. Obviously at Real Madrid he had Casemiro and Kroos and Modric in front of him, so we didn't have to do that as much. But at United we're getting to see a different side to him, and he's been an absolute breath of fresh air. But still, again, in midfield we need to get some depth and some strength and depth in there. And again, that will come with more transfer windows and more signings. We've been hamstrung in this transfer window because the Glazers are selling, which is a good thing. We have to take the short-term pain with this transfer window for long-term gain. But we've been hamstrung. We've only been able to make a loan signing in Wout Weghorst, you know what I mean? So shows you where we're at the moment. And talking about Wout Weghorst, you move on to the forward line. And the way, Erik ten Hag is working with what he's got. Cristiano Ronaldo left. We had one forward. Unfortunately, he's got injury problems. But when he's played, he's looked very good. Marcus Rashford has been fire. He's been on absolute fire. 10 in 10 for him. He's smashing it this season. Anthony is starting to the performances are getting a little bit better. I saw a better performance from Anthony against Forest. I don't think his performance was as bad as people made out against Arsenal. He's got 5 goals under his belt already. People are talking about him being a flop when Grealish has got 2 goals this season. So, Anthony is providing. I think he'll get a lot better. Sancho's obviously, hopefully, going to come back into the fray and be a lot better. But again, he should benefit from Erik ten Hag taking some time, having that personal touch. He's not treating every single player like robots. And he's being able to go, look, Sancho, you need to sort whatever it is out. We'll be on your side and get you back ready to play in his first team. And that's what he's done. And hopefully Sancho comes back ready and firing to go. We've had to bring in Wout Weghorst. Garnacho's contributing. Pelistri looks like someone that could potentially contribute. But again, it's the same old thing. We're lacking depth in those positions. Elanga's arguably not good enough. We need a striker. That's why we're loaning a striker from Burnley. It was great to see him score against Forest, and he's looked a handful when he's played for Manchester United. But again, that's an area we'll be looking to fill. And when you look at what Erik ten Hag is working with, people will point at the fact that we spent a lot of money in the transfer window, and we did. But we also lost an awful lot of players on frees. Lingard, Mata, Cavani, Pogba, Matic. There's probably more as well that I haven't said. But we lost an awful lot of players and an awful lot of squad players and players that were in that squad. So we had to replace them. And we're still in that progress. This is still much a work in progress. But when you look at what he's done with the forwards, with the likes of Marcus Rashford, and the way he's got the team working. We're a much more better unit. We've got a better base level of performance. There's a much better team spirit. The fans are engaged with this team as well. Old Trafford's becoming a fortress. We're sitting in fourth at the moment, level on points with third. Our goal difference could improve, and I think it took a bit of a battering because of the earlier the season performances, but again, we're on track to improving that. With 3 points clear of Spurs with a game in hand, who are in fifth, 10 points clear of Liverpool, although they have a game in hand, 10 points clear of Chelsea with the same games played. Who would have thunk that at the start of the season? And we're 6 points off second place Manchester City. So we're not doing too badly at all in the league. And if we didn't get top four now, I'd be disappointed when it was questionable at the start of the season. And if we didn't win a trophy, I'd be disappointed. We got 1 foot in a final. In the League Cup final against possibly Newcastle, which would be a difficult task. But, you know, if you get to a final and you're Man United, you want to be winning it. Potentially do well in the FA Cup, the Europa League's coming up. It feels different under Erik ten Hag. It doesn't feel like, you know, it feels like he's going to build something that could be sustained success here. Now, a lot depends on who the owners are next. And hopefully we get in owners that back the manager and allow him to invest in the team whilst also building the infrastructure off the pitch, the academy, the training ground, etc., to be able to get the best out of the players. We've wasted far too much money on far too many players, some talented players that we've wasted down the years, and we need to get back. Like Erik ten Hag mentioned it, he wants to make this place the best place, not only the best place in England or Europe, but the world, for players to come here and play their football. Yes, Manchester United can pay a lot of money, but it shouldn't just be about that. It should be about the sporting project, and he's building something. It feels different under Erik ten Hag. Even if we don't win a trophy this season, like, he's doing something, and he just needs backing. You know, he genuinely look what he's doing with the resources that he's got at the minute. He just needs backing, and I think we're on course to get that top four. In fact, I would put money on us getting top four and a trophy this season, because that's how well Erik ten Hag got things going at United. You do worry a few injuries could derail things. You know, you look at the way we are without Martial in the team, although Weghorst is now contributing. If an injury to Casemiro or Rashford or something would be disastrous. You know, Varane, touch wood, none of that happens. But that's where the squad is. But you're confident, even if that did happen, that tactically, you know, we've got a manager that will be able to work with what he's got and maybe get the results that are needed. So things are looking good. Things are looking up at Manchester United at the minute. And long may it continue. Erik ten Hag's Red Army. I'm buzzing though. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. I've just realised I've rambled on for 13 minutes. But yeah, I didn't really know what to make a video about today. There's not much news about. Obviously, we got the FA Cup coming up. I'm excited for that as well. Even a Reading game at home I'm excited for. And that's exactly what Ten Hag has done to us Manchester United fans. So let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Keep it locked. That's my mid-season review. Yeah, see you in a bit.